Welcome back. Medicure is the company on our radar. Very strong performance in the fourth quarter. Margins have recovered to a six-quarter high. And for FY23, the company has clocked in a revenue growth of 21%. We're joined by the Managing Director, Himanshu Baid, to discuss their performance and what the outlook is for the company going ahead. Mr. Baid, good morning, and thanks so much for joining in. Reema here. 21% revenue growth for FY21, and you're guiding for about a 20% revenue growth in FY24. Can you tell us what will be the drivers of this 20% revenue growth and the outlook on margins? Because margins have been on an improving trajectory. Do they sustain at these levels next year, or do they improve? And if yes, to what level?
So thank you very much for having me here. So I think the guidance again for FY24 is 20%, and this is based on 3 or 4 important things. One is our continuous export improvement in export performance. So last year, exports grew by over 25%, and domestic business grew by 15%. And domestic business, because we're recovering from COVID, and after hospitals were getting more patients in, so now it's kind of normalized. So India business, domestic business will grow at a faster rate now. We expect it to grow by around 20 to 22% this year. And export will also grow by around 20 to 25%. So, and on top of that, I think we have recently announced, we have got 2 FDA approvals, which were long awaited. We just got them a few weeks ago. So that will build some traction for the US business. So overall, if you see 3 important businesses, exports, India business and US, all 3 are going to contribute to this 20% growth.
Okay, so exports, India business and the US will contribute to 20% growth. Himanshu, what could be the next big growth trigger for the company? I understand that you're likely to launch a local and indigenous dialysis machine as well. When is that coming through? And what else are you looking to do to sort of, supplement your revenue stream?
So on the margin side, I just forgot to add. So margins actually have improved, because of raw material pricing softening up a little bit in last 4 to 5 months. And also the freight rates have come down, considerably. It's almost at the pre-COVID level. So the guidance for FY24 will be close to around 25+% EBITDA margin going forward, which will be quite an improvement on FY23 if you look at the overall performance. And when we look at some important triggers on the dialysis side, we are going to launch Make in India machine, which is already on the trial phase, which will have more than 50% domestic content. And we are planning to probably make 200 machines this year and then scale up later on as we see the demand going up. And I think the important triggers will be our critical care business, which we have launched this year. And we think that moving from, let's say, in hospitals, when we move into a more critical care area, which is intensive care units, I think that is where we will see more margin getting picked up, and also we can add more products to the portfolio.
Okay, that is on the margin. Mr. Baid, you also mentioned those 2 new products which have got the FDA clearance. Can you just tell us when exports start for these?
So we are anticipating that tentatively in end of Q2, early Q3, we could pick up exports in the US market. Already we are in the final stages of our final product development and testing the product for clinical cycles in the US. So once this is done, then we'll start the commercial business. So we are already in very advanced discussions with a few companies.
I think in the call, Mr. Baid, you did say that this US opportunity from the US FDA approvals is $15 to $20 million over the next 3 to 4 years, right?
Yeah.
But it won't start in FY24? How much will come in FY24?
So it's very hard to predict and get that number, but I think as we're going to start in Q2, Q3, and this is just the beginning. So I think we will get more devices approved as the time progresses, because initially we had to start with two important products and 2 categories, and now we are going to see more categories coming. So maybe next 1 or 2 years, we will see another 4 to 5 devices getting registered in the US. So, and that will build up the whole portfolio and the business in the US.
Okay, so you gave us a guidance. Revenue growth would be 20% in FY24, but on a compounded growth basis, what are we looking at over the next couple of years? Not just in FY24. I mean, as your new products come on stream, there is the PLI, benefits as well. Exports are picking up in a big way. What would the sustainable growth be on a compounded basis over the next few years?
See, I think though we have not given a guidance to FY25, but I would say that if we can, repeat the performance FY23, which is a 21% growth we did, I think if we can continue with that kind of a number, I think that should be something which should be attainable.
Sir, last year you didn't achieve your PLI targets, right?
Yeah.
What happens when a company doesn't achieve the PLI targets?
Well, I think we'll have a carry forward, and I think we will try to push. Again, there were some headwinds in the dialysis business because of, we had no regulations. Regulations only started 1st October 22. And also, we had a lot of cheap imports coming out of China, and lower duty also kind of impacted the business. But I think as the market kind of, we get more penetration in the market, we can go more. So we did increase our revenues around 40% in the dialysis business. When we look at FY22 versus 23. So this year, the target is also to increase by 40%. But I think the PLI targets are much stiffer, actually. And I think that's the reason, we are getting a little bit, behind on the revenue side. But I think as the time progresses in the next 1 or 2 years, we should be able to catch up on the number. And I think exports also will start from this year in the dialysis business. So that should also add to the PLI target.
So for FY24, sir, what is the PLI target, including the carry forward?
So I think this year would be around 110 crores or so, 110 or 120 crores. I don't have the exact number, but that's not much because, again, the dialysis business is only 7 to 8% of our total revenue. So we, it's our kind of the margins don't get impacted that if you don't, do the target.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in. Appreciate your thoughts. That's Medicure. But the